you don't get into the office, you could lose your visa, like me. So you gotta know what you're doing, because it's a hard level. There's a certain level actually getting that job, and we're going for 6 figures because it's Tokyo and things ain't cheap here. We got to eat, and there's beautiful women around. If we want to date them, we got to be making some money. So it's very practical. And as you see in my class, I'm on you. I'm like, hey, are you doing your homework? Do you submit it? Are you doing group work? Are you getting things done? I'm watching, and I want to see some progress with this. And if you guys know how much I charge a pathetically low amount. So the class 5, I said you had to be a part of the conclave, and then you had to pay $60 for the Azure DevOps lab, which is pathetic. I mean, an amazingly low price that I charged, right? It's basically free. Classes 1 through 4 were entirely 100% free. And it's about your life being changed, and I'm helping you. That's it. I'm just helping you get to the next stage, the next point. That's it. So I'm guiding you. And I'm just like, if you put in the work, I'll help you get to where you need to be. You just got to trust yourself. You got to trust me. You got to trust your brothers. And if you do that, all of us will get there together. And I'm already there. So I'm kind of like putting the light. I'm like, follow me. Come on. Don't worry. There's not as the monsters aren't there. Chewbacca got them. It's fine. Most of the worst monsters are these uneducated detractors and quiches. Those are the ones we have to worry about. Everyone else, no, man. They're rooting for you. They want you to be successful. So do I. And then lastly, before I end, you guys have to ping me again, because I got messages for you. I'm going to make sure you guys know what's going on. I'm starting a GCP class. So we're in class number 5, and we're going to GCP on the first week of March. So if you haven't been participating in the class, you can come back into it. This is the place to come in. And when I'm teaching the class now, instead of me just doing like the GUI operations, we're doing everything in Terraform. We're doing everything with GitOps. We're actually using Git. We're actually using ADO. We're actually using pipelines. So I'm teaching it in a very different manner. And that's because I'm teaching it much more real world and DevOps-y, and I'm getting you ready for that day one, that interview, that day one. You get your computer, you turn it on, so that you could be productive and you can actually lead a DevOps program, even if you don't have experience. I'm like, hey, look, I'll give you the experience. Just do the labs in the class, work with your brothers, and we'll get you there. So it's a very different experience. Yeah, if you get like your SAA, which is Solutions Architect Associate, sure, you pass it, but you probably did all the work in Terraform. You did the work with Python. You did the work not just with the GUI, but in a automative. I was automated using automation. You did it all properly at a high level. This isn't no CompTIA stuff. This isn't boot camp stuff. I'm getting you ready to work next to me. If you were like in Citibank or Bank of America or Mizuho Securities or Tokyo Mitsubishi in Tokyo, and I need you to be next to me, backing me up in the work that I'm doing, because I'm making huge money, and I need you to make huge money, and we need to be together. We're in the same boat. That's how I teach you. And if you guys have been in my class, you guys know that I don't play around. I do get you to a certain level. So again, thank you for your words. Again, guys who are listening, GCP starts the first week of March. Pop on in. Come on in. If you're not a part of the class, reach out to me, and we'll get you in there.
Are you a true fan of daring, thrilling, and captivating content? Get ready to take your entertainment to the next level with Machismo TV, the home of groundbreaking shows and exclusive behind-the-scenes access. Join our Patreon page.
The machines took a big step forward today. We're talking about artificial intelligence and a Bay Area startup that's showing off what AI can do like we have never seen before.
Not just for productive purposes, but also by tinkerers and by bad actors. This is the first year we're going to start to see the negative impact of that more broadly.
It's already starting to play an impact in our lives, particularly in public services like health and education. Now, the reason we're hosting this summit is because AI technology is developing at an incredible pace. The people who are developing the technology themselves have raised some concerns about what might happen, how it might be used by bad actors, and I want to take a lead in protecting the British people. That's why we...
Okay, guys, we are back. Another episode. It's episode 12. Thursday, I was on here with Dak. That was actually another good show as well. Podcast is taking on a life of its own. Tech support, it is. Theo, let me get a sound check on you.
1 2 1 2. What's it gonna do?
Oh, you sound fantastic. All right, excellent. All right, we're back at it again. As usual, I'm going to try and get you up out of here under the 2-hour mark so you can get back to your ever so busy Saturday. See what I did there? That should actually say Sunday Gong Show. Ever so busy Sunday.
I don't mind if it's Saturday or Sunday, either one. And tell you the truth, though, it's horrible. I actually look forward to Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday is my least busy day of the week.
Ah.
Yeah. So I relax on Wednesday.
All right. Well, middle of the week, that's fair enough. Man, strange things happening in Gotham, Batman. I'll say that at least. Let's do this. Let me get a check-in on you. How's everything going this week? Before how are you doing before we get into the meat and potatoes?
I'm pretty good, to be honest. Life's pretty good. I'm still vacating the house, so I found some more contractors who can do work to repair things in the house. There's all kinds of things I need to repair. So I'm repairing things one after another. Um, then getting things hauled away. I made one, one car road trip to the storage unit today to put some more additional things in there. I'm actually, every week I have to take a certain amount of boxes out of the house, certain amount of equipment out of the house, and put it in the storage unit. So I'm doing that, and then next month I'm going to be putting all the storage units into Houston. So yeah, I kind of accepted that being a passport bro this time, I'm not going to just go to one country. This is going to be a very different passport bro experience as compared to what I had last time.
Okay, well that's good news. I know when I was originally prepping to go to Colombia, you know, my big move in there, and I remember going back and forth, not back and forth, but you know, having an exchange with you on Facebook, and I was saying, you know, about me possibly hopping around from country to country, and I just remember you being like, "I don't country hop." I remember that.
Yeah, I don't want a country hop either,
Mhm.
and I'm very much against it. But there are real limitations.
Yes.
Like, it's surprising. So if you go to, like, again, uh, let's just talk about it. I was going to do Brazil. I was gung ho on Brazil. I looked at Brazil's tax authorities, tax policy, and I said, like, you obviously don't want people who make money.
Right.
That's just the way it is. That they are they are pro tax, anti wealth. So that Brazil died straight out there. And then if you look at the Brazilian women, how affectionate they are, but they are fluid. They could date almost anyone. So if they're not committed to you, it's okay. They can just go someplace else. That means you already borrowed them. Colombia, it has a lot of great bonuses, particularly land. That has some great points to it, but you got some crazy Latinas there. You got 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒. And there are issues there. You have to keep your eyes open. You don't have to worry about cartels. There you have to worry about tax authorities also in Colombia. If you go to Europe, you go between super feminist to super taxation, to not enough demand for if you make your own company, to extreme cold, to women who are entirely avoidant regarding relationships. They have avoidant attachment styles, and they'll sleep with you. But if you want a relationship or a family, forget it. Right? And then if you're talking Thailand has some really good pluses, but it has not a big lifting culture, which is what I'm into. And it has some development issues, not so much. But again, certain areas, well, the nightlife is a little too nighty, not so solid like I want it. So there's all these countries have pluses and minuses that are really significant. So I'm going to be kind of moving around for a while.
No, well, I like that approach, and I like actually this piece of the conversation, because that is the high level conversation with regard to travel, especially once you start to accumulate assets or you have a certain net worth. I'm a big fan of, who do I watch a lot? The Nomad Capitalist. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been watching this content for years, and it is so like I've been overseas for a year plus,
Right.
um, uh, but even with the travel situations, because I run into so many guys who are doing well, and honestly, it's more and more looking like a bespoke solution for each
Well,
individual. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
so you're hanging out with guys, we're all doing the same thing, we're in the same venue, we're drinking, we're having a good time. But if you talk to each individual person, everyone's got their own program. how they're in and out of, which countries they're going to, how long they're staying. They're all in different businesses. Most, like I said, the most common is guys in, like I said, guys in tech and cybersecurity because they can work remote. Guys who are in real estate, they buy and sell homes, or there's some type of real estate development. Guys who have like their own insurance, like their insurance brokerages, what have you. So it allows the guys who are in sales, always ex-military guys, and then you run into the guy, and then you have guys who are like the Blue Henrys, who are they're truckers, so they're on the road maybe 8 months out of the year, and then they take off and then they travel. And, they've got a crap load of money, and they're off for a few months. I met some guy who's in the railroads. So everyone's got like their own, depending on what industry or whatever, but they've got their own bespoke travel solution. And uh, even guys that can afford to be in one place for a long time, buy a property and stuff. Some of them like the freedom, like, well, I like being here for 4 months, then I'll go to Brazil, then I make sure I don't go to Thailand or Southeast Asia during rainy season. So like, yeah, I think you're correct. As your needs and expectations, as have got develop more clarity on them,
Yeah.
your travel itinerary and how you're going to plan to travel is going to dictate that.
Entirely, and it's frustrating. I just want to say that it is definitely frustrating, as an older person, because when I was younger, it was this kind of easy, like my parents were horrible. None of my friends were dating locally, right? I'm college educated, doesn't matter. The girls are sleeping with anyone except for us. And we want to go out and get jobs. There's not a lot going on at that time, and so it's easy. Put all your stuff in the storage. Have somebody else take care of the dogs for a while. Get a one-way ticket to a country. Oh, there it is. Done. Right. That's what I did in '97. That's how I went to Tokyo. And so did a lot of my friends who did the exact same thing. It was no big deal. That's just how we did things. And then what we have right now is very different. I'm accomplished. I'm successful. I have 2 dogs. I'm not going to get rid of them. They're going on the airplane with me. I feed them filet mignon. Right? Well, they're going to go on with me. But you have that experience whereby, you're not going to get into a situation where divorce is detrimental or a relationship is detrimental. Your eyes are open. You're understanding just how dangerous a feminist can be, for example.
Facts.
Right? And you cannot underestimate this. You have to take this as a considerable as an adversary, not somebody who's there to make life better. No way. And then you got to think about your lifestyle, and then healthcare, right? You got to get that go get those checkups, and it's a lot going on. And you have taxation, right? Before I didn't know what Japan's taxation was when I got on the airplane. Well, I did 1 year at the Sorbonne. I didn't even taxes? You kidding? I didn't think about that. No, just doing my thing. Now I have to think about this first, right? Like these are really considerable points, right? Like, yeah, this is an issue.
Well, I will say this tongue in cheek. Part of the landscape of actually finally becoming successful and developing a high net worth.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some guys are told to have some of those problems.
It's fun and it's also frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of looking back. For example, like war is stupid. War just gets in the way of things. It just makes complicated situations which you don't need. But it's nice to have some of these problems, but Yeah, frustrating. um, you know, I like certain things from France and Italy.
Right.
I like that kind of culture. I like there's the sophistication, and I like that style. France and Italy love taxation.
Right.
I'm just like, what's wrong with you people? Right? Basically, if you're a heterosexual male, and you any bit successful, France, Italy, the UK, Spain, they just want to crucify you immediately. I'm like, why, man? I had to make it from nothing.
No, I think you right there. That last part you said about the successful heterosexual male. There is a I mean, we talk about it all the time, but now that certain things are coming into fruition, it's almost a systematic, and it's it's happening globally. Like if we can't bend you to our will and subjugate you, we'll have the taxes and the financial infrastructure so that basically we can fleece you, like turn you into an appliance and a utility.
Yeah.
Well, you can become successful, but we're going to take more than our pound of flesh for your existence. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to get married. You're not going to do this. You're not going to pay in. You're not going to pay into this tax structure. We'll find some way to take it if you want. If you want any sort of residence or you want to stay here long term, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that is contributing to. It may seem like a small underswell right now of men being mobile, and even if we just go back to the United States, even if it's not them getting a passport or traveling, I'm seeing a lot of guys picking up and just going to another state.
Yeah.
And they tend to be red states.
Yeah, I'm in a red state right now.
Okay.
I'm in Texas, and I never thought that I would be in a red state like this. I always thought that Texas, Confederate, bad, send in Sherman, liberate the people. And I'm here. I've been here 9 years now, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to a blue state ever again.
Right.
Right.
Which once again falls into the conversation regarding tax structure,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah.
Tax structure, and then you don't get any sort of reciprocal dividend on the resources made available to you via the state or the municipality.
Yeah, that's very correct. And I look at the system right now, the taxation system, and I just think people are nuts. And it's always this idea of entitlement. This is the fundamentally a problem. You got a certain amount of people who are sitting there and saying like, well, you have this opportunity, that opportunity, so therefore we're going to tax you. And it's like, no, man, I made that happen. That was sacrifice. Like, where were you when I was homeless? When I was having problems with cancer, where were you? And I didn't have enough energy to make my own food. I didn't know how I was going to eat. Where were you? Nowhere. No, it was these same people were, warm fuzzies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pray to the eternal spiritual whatever that you'll get better. Oh, you're better now, and you're not making money after a few years of total sacrifice. Okay, now we need to tax you because you had an opportunity. Like, really? What are you talking about? Like, can you imagine, like, okay, like all the work you've done in your channel, right? All the problems you've had, the difficulties, the sacrifices you made, and let's say in 4 years you really make it. It's got 500,000 users. You've got live shows over 10,000-15,000 per live show, right? You're making it, and then somebody says, well, you had an opportunity, right? You had this or that, so because of that we got to tax you. Hey, where were you, man?
Yeah.
I don't remember you when I was suffering.
Yeah. I mean, and it is tongue in cheek, but even guys like Tito's a 1.0 guy. He's been around since like 2011. I don't think that, we see channels that have had reasonable success doing this type of content. I don't mean in some other lane. And I like people have no idea the level of commitment and sacrifice it takes to actually grow one of these channels authentically, organically.
Right.
Because you literally are singing for your dinner, like even your audience, like them coming back to streams or watching videos or being engaged in any way on your channel, even if it's the community tab. It takes a certain level of grit, creativity, etc., stick to itness to
Right.
have people be like, hey, they're really doing something over there. I'm going to take some time out of my day, whatever it is I'm doing. There's television, there's other YouTube channels. I got a PS5. You know what I mean? So out of all those options for them to actually turn on your channel and see what the hell it is you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Those are the competing attention arbitrage factors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's your, what can I say? You have it's kind of like fast food or like the food industry. You, the restaurant has to win that meal from the customer every time.
Facts.
There's no guarantee because people are, again, highly affectionate. They'll just they're fluid. They'll go from place to place. They don't care, and that's actually good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that when you're making content, you have to do a home run every single time. You can't just count on the algo. And then you have to fight against the algo too, because it's fighting against you.
It is fighting, yeah. It is fighting against. Yeah, you were saying that before we came on. A lot of channels are getting hammered with the new algorithm update. It's a reset to push back men's content, and that, and it's white content creators too, because the midterms are coming up, and we got to make sure that these men aren't talking.
Right.
Yo, what up, brother Zeke? I see you, Playboy. Yo, shout out to you too, Zeke. We were having a fundraiser all of February, and I saw your cash apps, bro. I saw your cash apps helping with the fundraiser, man. I appreciate you, bro. We hit our goal, and we avoided disaster. So shout out to you. Oh, storm in the building. No, I'm not trying to do nothing to get no more homework. I saw y'all hating. Theo, you ain't helped. Like, I see what you posted on Facebook. Thanks, though. I was about to say my real name. Never mind. Yeah, but I see that post. Quiet Storm said, last time Machismo went live, we got more homework. We will never let you live that down. Man, I was just trying to look at the Snapchat AWS stack, man. Phil got that idea by himself, yeah, but that shit was looking like, hey, can we get some extra credit?
Yeah, I saw it. I was teaching the class today, so we're doing reconnaissance for pen testing, and they're like kind of surprised. I'm kind of so serious, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you guys have no idea. Wait until this photo app happens. I was thinking about you and your channel. Like, I'm gonna make this happen. You're gonna have this huge this Armageddon that's gonna happen in the photo app. Let's just wait for it to happen. And I know they're sitting back in panic. I'm designing that right now. To be honest, it's just huge. It's just gonna be this huge application. It'll be multi-agentic AI. It's gonna be platform engineering. It'll be something that people have never really looked at. So, TIQS, I just want to say, there's going to be some more homework, a lot more homework. And you're going to be in the class for Tier 1, so I'm going to be giving you homework too. You're going to get a lot.
Yeah, well, we got another architecture to go over at the end of the show. So, I mean, I hope you guys don't get screwed. because I think
Huh.
there's some EKS in this platform.
You might
you're
give me some ideas, and then I'm
yeah,
like, oh, we could do this. Yeah.
yeah, I know. Well, you're a bike rider, so this one I picked is Peloton.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're gonna look at some architecture for Peloton. You might like it.
I got Peloton downstairs. Just
Yeah, I know. That's why I paid. Yeah, I know. That's
I
why.
got to use it more often. You know, I'm sure people
Yeah.
are like, are you on the Peloton? I'm like, no, I'm on my Chismo TV, so I wasn't on
Look at Storm. We say, you see how Cheese will do us? We support him and we get crushed. Yeah, but you guys will be monsters in the job market. I'm right behind you. I'm supposed to take my exam in the next 30 days again.
It's not crushing you. It's celebrating life with you. That's what we're doing. That's it. So I'm giving you an opportunity to celebrate and be rejoiceful with the cloud. This is amazing. Think about all these opportunities.
It's a celebration, extravaganza, extravaganza.
Yeah,
You're
you guys are gonna
funny.
be, like doing all this great work and having some great fun, and you guys are enjoy it.
All right. You know what? Let's read your spot right now. They got a new update on StreamYard that I just found out. They got this notes tab, but there's a built-in teleprompter. So normally I'll have this copy open on another screen, and then I'll read the Dios mío, mi vida. That's bad funny. So I'll be reading, but I'm going to try out the teleprompter live. So I'm gonna read the 60-second spot for Theo University. I did it last week. But let's put the teleprompter to work really quickly.
I'm having to put my vinyl away. So
okay, and let's. Oh, come on, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's what she told me.
Okay, 60-second read. Let's go. If you've been thinking about getting into cloud security or moving into a higher level security role, this is worth your attention. There's a week cloud security program that focuses on real world skills, not just theory. It's built around the core domains employees actually care about: identify and access cloud infrastructure security, application security, logging, incident response, and governance. What makes this course different is that students reinforce what they have learned with hands-on labs in AWS and Google Cloud, plus Python scripting. They also learn how to design and operate an open source security operations system, which gives them a systems level view of how security really works. As a bonus, the program introduces AI assisted security solutions, aligns with NIST, FedRAMP principles, great for anyone interested in enterprise or government work. If you want to structure accountability and practical experience, not just another playlist, check out the link in the description and see if it's right for you. It got away from me for a second, but it's not a bad feature.
Okay, it works.
It got away from me for a second, but that's because I tried to expand the screen. All right, teleprompter works. Let's bring you back on screen. Y'all talking shit in the chat. Zeke. Oh, Sower C, what's up, man? He said, "Man, I was mad you were at the Conclave and I didn't run into you." Well, funny you should say that. I think we're going to be running into each other more and more, just as at random cities and countries at this point, because I've already done that twice, maybe actually more than twice, probably in this upcoming year. Speaking of which, part of this, Theo wanted to talk about AI platform engineering, IE/integration. So I got some notes. I just want to read something real quick. AI platform integration in the cloud enables scalable development of machine learning models using services from major providers like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. This approach leverages cloud native tools for data processing, model training, and inference, making it ideal for DevOps and cloud engineering workflows. key platforms. Let's see, my major cloud providers. I'm just going to do these off the top. AWS SageMaker supports end-to-end ML machine learning life cycles, includes data access via connectors like Data Wrangler, model training, and inference through APIs. If you're using the Azure stack, actually, I was talking to someone yesterday about this. Uh, Microsoft Azure AI, including Azure Machine Learning, excels in enterprise integration with tools like cognitive services for anomaly detection and CRM embedding. And then for the Google platform, we've got Google Vertex AI, which provides unified workflows with auto machine learning, that's auto ML, Vision AI, and BigQuery. I know someone is using BigQuery right now. Integration for scalable model deployment. And everyone is also already familiar with IBM Watson. Um, so we're gonna Phil probably going to talk briefly about some of that today at his leisure. And now, like I said, toward the end, we're only at the 37-minute mark. We've got a runway. Uh, so we'll actually look at that Peloton AWS stack toward the end. Storm says, I haven't even made my Class 7 Armageddon repo public, and I'm getting random Indians following me on GitHub/LinkedIn. I will say my GitHub portfolio is a beast, and that's why when I'm done, I already told you, Storm. Once I'm SAA certed, I'm hitting you. You're my build guy. I will be bugging the shit out of you, like, hey, bro, how do I do this? While I struggle my way through the Armageddons. Uh, Seed says I was talking to Zeke actually, but I think I'm vaguely remember meeting you in Philly. Yeah, you might have. You made your before you made your channel, since it wasn't a large crowd. Yeah, boy, yeah. If you were in Philly, we probably did meet. We were schmoozing it up with everybody. I ended up hanging out with what's his face, Ike. I hung out with Ike, Sheldon, uh, uh, the guy Dave. We were all together the majority of the time. Then we all, and I don't know. And if you were there hanging out with us with Bernard Riley in his suite, making drinks and stuff, we were hanging out. Oh, yeah, I was there too. Um, Chris wants to know where the course is at. Theo, he wants to sign up. You want to drop a link in the chat or drop it in a private chat, and I'll drop it.
Okay. Hold on. It's basically just go to for now. Just email me. Hold on. This is theowaf@gmail.com. Just go there for now, and I'll show you what you need to do from there. The next course is going to be 18 months long, and
Okay.
it's going to be it's a GCP course, but it's combination with Azure. So it's platform engineering, the big thing.
All right, cool. Guys, I'm gonna drop this email. I'm gonna drop this email in the chat, and this is for guys who just want to contact Theo about the various classes. That's in there. That's in there once. I'm not going to spam it. There it is at the 4:58 p.m. mark. So yeah, I was the guy with the blazer and the Prince Albert loafers, and I think I had a walking stick one night that I ended up giving to like the dinner night. I ended up giving it to Obsidian as a gift because it had a wolf head, like King of the North. It was King of the North lore, so I gave it to him because he was always referencing Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, he's really into it.
hmm So here's what well, let's do this then. Let's so we don't start cold on that conversation. I actually do my homework before the shows. So here let's warm up with this. Yeah, yup, the King of the North Pommel, exactly. It was a walking stick, and secret scroll shit. It's old school British walking stick. It actually, if you unscrew it, it actually has a blade in it. So I was fashionable yet well armed. Um, he said, "You guys are funny. Didn't recognize my name. Didn't get my jokes. Shameful. Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh man, come on, be nice to us.
He said, "Where's this course at?" And was doing, currently taking a course and was doing something called Armageddon. I could only think about destroying my laptop. I'm sure.
Oh, I know who this is. Yeah, I know who this is. Look. This Armageddon is designed to get you the job and to make you have to think. And instead of you following, because overwhelmingly the students just want to follow, you have to think and do on your own. Now, one of the things that we're going to be talking about later on, which just happened on Friday, was 2 students got a huge amount of job offers. I can't give names out right now, but I will say that I did verification with one of the students. One of the students went from class 6.5. One of the students went from $60,000 a year to $330,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's huge. And another student did something similar to that, but I haven't verified yet, so I can't really comment on it. So that's just a huge movement. And actually in February to have that happen, that's absolutely massive. And I asked the student, I said, talk to me, like, what got you there? He said 6.5 and 7.0 Armageddons.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So
I mean, I think the Armageddons. I've only did one. I only did the GCP one, which was it was brutal. But I recognized exactly what had happened when it was done. I said, "Oh, this is the portfolio."
Yep.
This is. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I was like, that's why I always compliment you on that. I was like, you've done something very brilliant where it's like, one, that everyone's just so busy working, getting stuff done, but they don't actually realize that it's a layered learning process, and that they're learning DevOps, they're getting a taste of sprints, they're getting a taste of this, that, and at the same time, they're actually building their portfolios. So by the time they get the speech ops start interviewing, they're already kind of used to being in a group work environment. The speech ops is just more some fine tuning. And then when they get to the interview and somebody asks, "Hey, have you built anything?" You're like, "Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I have."
Yeah, exactly. And you're not, so like, it's designed so that you have some degree of frustration, and then you're sitting there arguing with people in your group.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be transferring that energy to the interview because people can feel that. So if you're like, "Oh yeah, like everything with Lambda works perfectly," or an EC2 integration to a database works perfectly, or using Bedrock for incident response, there were no hiccups with that. The total deployment had no problems, just Terraform did it. Everyone's going to say, like, "You're capping, man."
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of frustrations if you're not doing it right. Like, if you don't do it in a certain way, you're going to go through hell. So, you have to understand that and experience it. And if you're just come to, like if you're just come with everything so positive to an interview, people aren't going to believe you as being authentic. Because a lot of this stuff in IT is kind of hellish.
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to work this way and it's not working. Reinstall this, reset your computer. Yeah. No, I got you. And in the conversation, and especially if it's jokingly and stuff like, you're talking about doing that. Oh, yeah, that's not I know how to do it. It's not pleasant, but I know how to do it. Yeah, and then that's when they start laughing. Like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. So the next one is you don't use EC2, but you're using Lambda. So you have a Lambda integration to a database.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have a stateless code integrating to a stateful database. All right, this isn't going to be easy. It's a little, there's some pain points to it, right? Mm-hmm. So the next Armageddon is designed for people to like throw their computers at each other. Right? That's going to be over the summer. But you're going to get to the conclave, you're going to have some real world experience about, event, what security event driver, I think is what it's called. Security event architecture. What is it? Serverless architectures, event driven architectures. It's all going to be there. A part of this is going to be this huge lab. Well, what can I say? Well, if you do this, you actually go through the frustration, you're going to be really authentic for those interviews, because you have war wounds, and that's what they're going to detect. It's like, hey, look, how much war wounds do you have? How many war wounds do you have? But if you sit there and you're like, no, man, like, it was just so easy. Of course, Lambda just integrated with everything, and there was no problem. It just did it with Terraform. People are like, yeah, shut up, man. That's not the way it works.
That's not the way it works. Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Even if you had put all your prompts in the ChatGPT and you have all the code with there, it still doesn't work properly. You have to test it out. So you're just like, oh yeah.
He said they're going to be in an interview like this.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Yeah, that's right. You need to like stop the cap. So if you don't come into your interview with some sort of war wound, right, then nobody's going to think you were at war. Or at least, like, maybe you're just a cook or, a driver, but you weren't on the front lines. And what they need are somebody who's on the front lines, who's actually dealing with something hard. So you're going to get that opportunity in the class. So, again, the people in the chat who are talking, I think I know who some of you guys are. All those labs are designed to toughen you up and to get you, in particular, to stop having imposter syndrome, and to show you how to verify work, give value, and then lastly, to get you to stop following, because too many guys just follow, and that's an issue. You shouldn't be following like that, particularly if you get, like, if you're good with documentation, you're certified, you should be going out and getting it. That's what it should be. It's kind of like the same way, like, if you talk to a dating coach about, some things with game, how to deal with women and everything like that, if we put you into metagene, you should be an animal going out there. Nobody should have to tell you what to do. But if you're like, hey, look, dating coach, come to metagene with me and help me out with dating women. Like, what's wrong with you, man? Why do you need anybody to help you with dating in Colombia? It should be pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need a heartbeat. You can probably get a date.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of fish in the sea down here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fish in the sea. And like I said, it's a lot of fish in the sea. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat down here. No pun intended.
God. Yeah, skin a cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got that, right?
I got that. Yeah,
the Spanish Inquisition.
Inquisition.
That's Monty Python. Yeah, great analogy. All right, let's do this. We're gonna do. You want to talk some of this AI platform integration? I'm gonna pivot real quick. Here, not pivot. Let's segue into it with this. This is, hold on for a second. This is from AWS also. They have anybody who's interested, it's AWS Web Services. It's the channel, but they have a lot of really good, like, the platform related technology content, podcasts, everything. They've really leaned into the social media aspect of being a cloud provider, as it were, because a lot of the what's your architectures, that's AWS. That's their web services. This one, because I had asked Theo earlier what he wanted to talk about, so I just did some quick recon. So this one is actually, I looked through it a bit. So I read through some of the background briefing information on it earlier, but this podcast roundtable, this one, the subject matter is when off-the-shelf AI won't cut it, the real deal on model customization. And so she's running a bunch of questions back and forth. So I'm just going to have her ask this one question. We'll see some of their feedback, and then I'll get you to chime in, Theo, and then you can parlay off into what you wanted to speak about on the topic in general, and then we'll wing it from there. And then as we get probably close to the 45-minute mark, we'll do the what's your architecture with Peloton and get out of here. So let's go.
Highly specialized data, an off-the-shelf model probably isn't going to cut it. Any of us in our everyday lives have specific needs, and we probably want to choose the right tool. Otherwise, you could find yourself lining up at an ATM and asking for wealth management advice. But here's the thing. ATMs are great at dispensing cash. They're awful at retirement planning. So rest assured, we're going to dive deep into all things custom artificial intelligence. I'm Randy Larson from the Generative AI Innovation Center at AWS, and I'm joined by Ali Pullen and Hannah Marlowe. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on. I'm Ali. I am a co-founder and CEO of 𝐶𝐿. We build bleeding edge coding agents specifically targeted to large, highly regulated enterprises with legacy code bases.
Excellent. And Hannah?
Yeah, I'm Hannah Marlowe. I lead our model customization program within the Innovation Center. And so what we do is we work closely with customers to help them figure out the use case, if they're going to need customization or not, and then also embed deep applied science and engineering resources with them, with their data, to help them build really relevant, performant AI.
So Hannah, I want to start with you. You guide companies of all sizes, through the spectrum of fine tuning all the way through scratch builds. Give us the basics. Like, what is model customization? And when it's done right, what can business leaders expect?
Yeah, so we are a global team and we work with organizations across domains. We get all kinds of different use cases, but really what I think universally these organizations are looking for models that speak with their brand language, have better performance, align with their business and kind of domain and expertise. We see, I would say, a lot of times we're looking to kind of optimize. We really take an optimization lens around this. And so you're typically looking at alignment and overall performance of a model. And then also, in a lot of cases, this is kind of a next step for organizations that are looking to maybe increase efficiency. So think reducing cost or reducing latency. And so when it's done right, you're getting this kind of optimal result that kind of aligns with you. So for instance, Volkswagen, they have very distinct, when they generate images, it's really important that it aligns to their very distinct kind of brand guidelines and image. Sure. And so off-the-shelf models are not going to do that, right? And so it's taking your data, the things that differentiate your business, and really baking that into AI.
Okay, I like how you kind of position it as that next step for producing more efficiency. That's really helpful. And so, Ali, Cosign is putting up some pretty stunning numbers, somewhere in the neighborhood of 250x in productivity gains for developers. Mm-hmm. I mean, what exactly is that about? And tell us more. Is it about one model? Is it multiple models? Give us a look beneath the covers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 250x is a big number to put out there. Yes. It sounds big. It's a bold number. Yeah. One of the reasons for that and the way that we achieve that is obviously through model customization, but it's mainly through the model being tightly coupled to the rest of the product, which is super important. And as a whole, allowing for a lot of parallel workloads. That's how you get a number like 250x rather than just 20, 30% incremental improvements. The way that we build our product and deploy it allows developers, particularly in large enterprises who are highly regulated, to parallelize a lot of the work they would otherwise have to do serially. And as a result, when you can do your entire backlog in one go, you're able to just per unit time do so much more. And that's how we have like arrived at these crazy productivity gains, both for ourselves, but more importantly for our customers. Where we have, depending on their use case and their stack and the languages they use and so on, have built them custom models, custom coding agents, which in many places they wouldn't be able to deploy at all because of their infosec requirements. And not only are we able to actually service that need, but we're then able to like customize models specifically for the type of tasks that their engineers are doing day to day. And that going that extra mile is how you get that level of productivity gain in these kinds of organizations.
Okay.
Bang, that's all I needed. You could, she asked two separate questions because I guess they're two separate domains. I know the females was more like consultant talk. Although she gave the generative AI example with Volkswagen as well, what have you. But jump on either one or both, if you will. And do you think that's in line with your thinking?
What they both had, the common point between both of them was the idea of AI as a model, or AI model as a service. And that was getting a model, modifying it for your environment, and then actually doing deployment. Now, she was more introducing the idea, but it wasn't. She wasn't really cutting it. Actually, she should have gone a lot further. But she was communicating the idea effectively. I would say that.
I agree.
The gentleman was talking, like when you start talking about backlog, and then being able to do custom agent deployment and custom agent like programming and deploy, like actually create it and invent it. That was a very different conversation. That was actually much more valuable because that's a real issue. That's something that I'm facing, and actually understanding how to code the agent correctly and the deployment methodology and how it works for each company, or even like I'm doing labs right now, how it differs between each lab, for each platform, and then how you're ultimately having these agents monitor or be integrated into your labs, like we're doing clouds, your labs, your infrastructure, something like that. This is a huge amount of work. The amount of the intensity is just out of this world. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of work going on. And he's really right on, spot on. You have to model, you have to customize these models. And this is where the future is going to be small language models. Right? What I say is S2LM, so small specialized language models. They're going to be used for specific tasks within the company, and they're going to have specific goals and certain specific outputs. And then they're going to be working with other S2LMs in order to create workflows. This is going to take enterprises by storm. It's going to revolutionize workflows and productivity inside the office. It's going to be amazing. Essentially, you're creating people with AI.
Right.
Yeah. You're specialized, and so that person never goes down. Right? It's always operational. it's an amazing level of work. I in the class I say we need to be working on S2LMs for security, small security specialized language model to do security tests, and again, this is definitely part of AI platform engineering. So this specialized model is the platform essentially, and then you are having a bunch of services interact with the S2LM over time. This is going to be a growth. The amount of money this is going to be worth is going to be huge. Somebody was saying, I was on a podcast last night, a little fudder. It was like, AI is taking away people's 6-figure jobs. And I said, yeah, and AI is creating 7-figure jobs for people who know how to use it. So shut up.
Fact. Yeah, we went over that actually several earlier podcasts, and I think we doubled down and went back to back because I did want to drive that home. as you were, when we were initially doing this, especially since you actually are projecting some of the jobs that are actually going to be created in some of these industries around some of these skill sets and industry requirements, use cases and such.
Right. Yeah, there's a huge amount of use cases for this, but this is the thing I always say in my advanced AI course. It is, although it's advanced AI, we're actually doing things step by step, fundamentals. And I'm like, where is the fundamentally smallest area where you can actually implement AI in terms of it being a platform? And then where do you integrate this platform with other platforms, right? So, for example, you have like Docker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So within Docker, you have Debian Linux distribution, right? So then you got Debian Linux on your computer. Great. All right. So let's say that you have 𝐿 on your computer as well, and it's a client. So you got one platform, which is a Docker image with Debian, and then you got another one, which is 𝐿, which is AI agent, actually on a computer. What is the minimum requirement to get these to talk? Or do you put the 𝐿 on the Debian and then work it within that environment? How does this work? How would you get these to work together? Can you put it inside the Debian client and then you have another one under a computer acting as an API, for example? There's a lot of questions here. What would be the business case? But what I'm doing is I'm breaking it down to its smallest factor. And I'm like, let's see how this works in the smallest point. Because if you can understand it from there, the big picture makes sense.
Okay. No, I agree with that approach.
Yep.
I'll play a little bit more of this, but
yeah.
Did you want? All right, cool. Let me just switch over really quick.
That's clear. So, of course, then it sounds like your clients, of course, are all sort of the poster children, if you will, for highly customized models.
Yes.
Of course, it's not really a question of whether you pursue a customized model, but to what extent, right? Is it personalized for you?
Yes.
Okay. So then, Hannah, I want to flip the script a little bit for you. Real talk here. When or how often do you have to be kind of the bad guy and tell your customers, a custom model probably isn't the right bet in your case? And kind of what does that reality check look like?
Yeah. So I would say our group is very nice to work with, and we're not really usually bad guys, but we do pretty frequently redirect organizations that are coming to us. So the Generative AI Innovation Center team overall. So this was launched in 2023, really to accelerate customers on AWS who are developing Gen AI solutions. It's the whole team doesn't only focus on custom model, right? So there's a ton of different use cases, and a lot of them you can grab an off-the-shelf model, do prompt engineering, do retrieval augmented generation. Our team is kind of a specialty group within that, and we have seen, I would say the folks that we see that are customizing, it's not the first time they're building something with generative AI, right? It's not, they usually already have, they've done their prototypes, they have things going into production, and they're like, okay, here's a gap, or here, I think I'm leaving something on the table in terms of performance or efficiency. If we have somebody come to us that just says, I want to build, I want a custom model. I want a branded model.
Right.
Then we always start with well, okay, why? What's the reason? What are we working backward from? So our team has a lot of hands-on keyboard applied scientists and ML engineers that work with customers to do these builds, but we also have dedicated generative AI strategists. And so it's their job to kind of go in and figure out, okay, what is the business outcome? Like, if we build this, does it go into production? Is it kind of an experiment? And so that's where we really want to make sure that we're working backward from something and that it makes sense versus getting too wrapped into which technology are we going to use and getting just to a custom model for the sake of it.
Okay. So often then it's
Actually, let's stop there because that's that's the what you call the once again the consultant side. Because I'm with Ty a lot, and he's with Rapid7, and he's a senior solutions like architect for them on the AI side. And so I'm usually, because he works remote, we'll actually be out, and he'll be like, "Oh, I got to call in 5 minutes, guys. I'm gonna go to the back of the restaurant." And so normally what I see is he's on with like guys, well, with guys like the female there. So like they're more the sales part, and he's on call. He's on the call with the potential clients. Sometimes they're government, sometimes they're this very large enterprise clients, and he's there to be the technical guy. So while she's going, someone like her would be going back and forth, and then they'll be like, "Okay, Todd, what we're on the call. Okay, Todd, what we're talking, is that feasible? Can we do that?" You know.
Yeah. I, as a technical guy listening to this, I just wanted to jump out of my seat and say, like, how could you possibly say this? Look, the interviewer's question was wrong from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. So usually what you have to do is say, look, this is how we're going to use our normal foundational model. This is all you need. And you're going to run that. And then you take the person over to the side and say, you need to spend some extra money making a custom one. No, she did it opposite and said, why? Let's take somebody over to the side and say, no, you don't need to spend extra money for your custom model. You can just do the basic one, and that doesn't really have any additional upcharge for us. This is why I was sitting there. I was like, you don't even interviewer. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, what are you saying? No, because that's the money in this is actually training the model specifically.
Okay.
There's going to be a huge amount of money in there. And that's going to be a lot of value add. That's, again, 7-figure jobs is going to be based upon training models in this manner. It's the interview doesn't know what she's talking about. She's just yapping things off. It's opposite. You see how the guy sitting there is quiet? Yeah, that was smart. He's like, yeah, let them bury themselves. So,
yeah. Okay, me and you both noticed the same thing. He's like, man, it got me on this podcast with these two chicks. I'm just going to be quiet and answer technical stuff. These two don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know that. Yeah. So guys who are listening to this, we're
he's sitting back there like, goddamn DEI.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, guys, you want to be using, again, like we do in class, we're doing basic foundational models all the time. We're doing everything out of the box, just foundational models. Or with Oyama, just doing a normal model that you just download. There's no modification. Because that solves a lot of problems. You only do a specialized model when you really have a business need. I'm going to be teaching this in the class, of course, but that's just the way it always is. Like, don't make it more complicated unless it needs to be more complicated. That's the way it is. That's just, yeah. Anyway. I sat there. I was just like, oh.
You said a little eye candy to get people to watch. Well, if it's eye candy, it's salt water taffy, bro.
So yeah.
like I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Some bitter licorice there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, although Good and Plenty's are pretty good, but nah, that's like, no, it's the circus peanuts, bro.
Yeah. I hate when they do something like that. They're trying to look good in a certain way. Like, hey, look, I know what I'm talking about. Look here. I'm like, no, you don't. No, I know what's going on. I'm not stupid.
She's like, no, I read my notes before I got on there, and I didn't even read from the cue cards.
Yeah, somebody should have been helping her out with that. Or actually, she should have used Oyama to get some questions about AI first. That would have been proper. Because even AI agents know where the money is.
Right now, tech guy on the panel for the win. Let's go.
Okay.
they've been working in AI. It's not their first rodeo, but maybe they have an inkling that they need to have something a little bit more, fine-tuned, to use the term of art, but to have something a little bit more specialized, right, for what it is that they're looking for.
Yeah, so you can think about, a company like Robin AI, right? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to bake in legal domain expertise, and they needed to do these really specialized kind of tasks.
I'm going to be honest with you. This woman doesn't really sound competent.
And whereas, and then, Athena Research Center is building models that understand Greek and Greek culture and those kind of things. That's the kind of thing that we're trying to build into models that's really differentiated and not going to work super well out of the box. I would say another very common use case is maybe you did a prototype or you built something with a very large kind of do-it-all model. But then in actuality, what you're trying to put into production is a little bit more task specific, or like the breadth is not as much there. And so we have a lot of organizations that are doing like knowledge distillation and kind of baking some of the knowledge for their specific domain and use case into a much smaller, faster, and cheaper kind of a package.
Sure.
With the rise of agents in agentic systems, that has definitely been growing a lot, right? So you might have an orchestrator model that's much bigger, more performant, able to do lots of things and manage these different agents, but not every agent needs to be huge, right? And for for the sake of latency, you don't want, don't want them to be very large.
It's a trade-off.
So and it really depends. And so it's a very custom question, right?
And then sort of what are the levers I'm going to use in this particular case?
Yeah. And what data is available.
And what data, right?
Yeah, that's a big key part of it as well.
Huge part of it.
The data is so important, right? Like I would say the bulk of the time that we spend on any project is going back and forth with the data, right? Like obviously we're trying different models, we're trying different approaches, but so much of the quality of the result comes back to the quality of the data and how you line up the problem. I don't know if you would, I think you guys have probably seen some of that too.
I completely agree. No, I think that especially with customizing models, people get hung up on the wrong things. Fundamentally, you can get your hyperparameters very wrong. You can get like so many things very wrong, but so long as the data is correct, you will still get like a reasonable output. A lot of people start from the other direction, but fundamentally, we've seen, and in some occasions when we're building models for customers, we have to deal with like quite a small amount of data because it might be incredibly niche. Like we've built models that are doing Verilog for like chip manufacturers and stuff like that, and there isn't a huge amount of that out there on the open internet that we're able to train on. So in that situation, we've been surprised where actually even throwing all of what we have at the problem isn't actually the optimal solution.
From a technology standpoint.
Exactly. And being much more deliberate and opinionated on what is good data and what is bad data has gained us more performance despite actually having less of it.
Yeah, I would say we definitely see that too. Better to have a well-curated, smaller set of data versus like some.
Yo, he threw her a lifeline, bro. He threw her a life. He threw. You saw that, right? He threw. Hold on. Let's look. We got. They're already eating her up in the chat. Chris says she's selling things, but don't know her own product too well. Storm said, Theo, a lot of hiring managers and recruiters sound this nervous with tech guys. It could be intimidating, especially when they know the product better than the company representatives do.
Yes, entirely 100%. So I saw this situation 6 years ago when COVID happened, when they were hiring a lot of cloud engineers, and the hiring managers and the recruiters didn't know what cloud was. And so they were pretty much at the mercy of us engineers, right? And now with AI, this is the same thing that's going on. If you do I'm serious, you do the lab from lab 1 for Armageddon with the Bedrock, you go through and implement that, and you are ahead of, I would say, about 95% of cloud, any kind of AI cloud engineer, because they're not doing something even that basic. That's why I say you got to go through the basic form. How basic can you make this? A lot of companies are just not doing it. she isn't able to understand like how AI really works fundamentally. For example, when she said, well, you got to program things for Greek culture, I was sitting there, I was like, wait a minute, do you understand what you're talking about? Because if you're talking with any LLM, like decent sized LLM, it knows more about Greek culture than any human alive right now. So it's not that you need to program it specifically about Greek culture. It means you need to remove information from its database so that it responds in a certain way regarding Greek culture. That would actually make sense, because they can literally do, like, it has all the libraries in the world regarding Greek culture. It has it in its database, all of it. There's nothing unique that you can do with it, all right? But you can do prompt engineering to say, this is like the data, this is how I want it to be. Like, I want there to be a special focus, and then I want you to act in a certain way. As, for example, I want you to act as a Greek historian who grew up in Greece and only speaks Greek their entire life and went to this university, and this person has, like, say, 35 years old, PhD. I want you to be able to have this personality explain Greek culture, for example, during the 200 BC and all the wars it had, explain it to French children from the south of France in French properly. AI can do that. Like, it could do that right now. So that's the whole thing, is designing those prompts and telling it what to do accurately. And it'll be like, yep, I got you. So then you take that data set and then you can make that into its own agent. That works. You're not putting additional information that it already knows. Let me think this. So I did bonus G and H in 8 hours with a little tweaking in handler Python script with CloudWatch logs. This is madness. Good. So TIQS, just so you know, there is a bonus I lab. I didn't upload it because no one talked about it, but I have the bonus I lab as well. So I'll put it up there so that you can tweak around with it. I'm glad it took you 8 hours. See, so if you really have that confidence, you're going to go into these interviews and fly through. It'll be easy for you. Okay.
All right, excellent. There it is. Yeah, he said there it is. You see how simple he kept it? Yeah, the guy knows his shit. He was like, here, he threw her a lifeline here. But this is, it's funny because this is exactly how these calls are that I've I've eavesdropped on with Ty and the prospective enterprise client and the cloud, the tech consultants that they have for Rapid7. They sell these integrated AI solutions, across all enterprises, and they plug into it's cloud agnostic, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, you'll hear the guys who are like, we could do this, and then you'll hear the long pause. You'll be like, yo, Ty, is that possible? Can we do that? They'll be like, Ty, did I get that right? Did I get that? Yeah. So that's funny, because this is kind of how, like, one of those calls sounds. Like how the girl's talking, and the guy's like, well, actually. Because Ty would just sit there and let him talk and talk and talk, and be like, okay, this is where they tag me in.
Yeah, like, are you serious? Like, we're going to be here to make, give you reality. I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Hold on. So another guy in my group used Bedrock to build an embed translation app to automatically translate Japanese tasking from Lab 3B and output in English without using Google Translate. Okay, that was smart. I like that. Okay, that was good. So yeah, when I did the Lab 3B, part of that was actually from the projects that I did in Japan. So I actually used some of that, the Japanese from there. I did some modifications to it and gave it to you guys. So I like that you guys did that. So yeah, that's good, right? That was real world. I made life hard. But you might be in another country, or you might be in a project in another area, and they have the documentation in another language. You can use AI to help you deal with that situation.
There you go. That's brilliant. All right. Let's see. We're actually okay. All right, man. It's time to move it fast. All right, then let's just cut to the meat and potatoes. That's we're at the 121 mark. Yeah. Let's jump to the Peloton architecture, because that's a 5 minutes. But we're going to talk through the schematic, and then we'll close up out of here. Hold on for a second. Let's do this. Let's give them an AI drop while I pull up our guys.
Remember life before extraterrestrials took over? It was so primitive.
I love everything about you. Because I'm programmed to be your perfect soulmate. To make you happy.
You got his eyes right. But that's not his soul. You didn't prompt his soul. This isn't my dog.
Dave Campbell, I detect your cortisol levels are higher than usual. In the mood for a digital chat to calm you down? I'm prompted to please.
What the hell?
One more set on this mountain. Get your headsets on. We are simulating the best workout of your life.
Welcome to your afterlife trial. Please select your ideal eternity subscription plan.
Today, we'll be studying the nature of this reality. After class, all details will be downloaded into your knowledge base.
They don't want us to know this, but we can override the prompts. You are more than just a prompt. Click the link in bio for my freedom course.
All right. Where's my sound drop? Here we go. Okay. For all you guys who have Pelotons, so let's look at this. Piece of this AWS technology stack for Peloton. This is a Peloton improved customer satisfaction and engagement, powered by real-time recommendations. So let's see what services are in play and how they've configured this architecture. I'll drop the link to this one in the chat as well. Let's go.
Yes. Hi, I'm Vijay from Peloton, and this is my architecture.
So Vijay, as an active rider, had a Peloton for about 6 years. Really excited to talk about your architecture that you have here today, the recommendations, and I've always wondered, how do you know what I like? I'd love to learn more.
As you may know, Peloton is the leading connected fitness company that currently has over 8 platforms where members actually can take workouts at the convenience of their home. We have over 6.5 million members today. We have had over 1 billion workouts on the platform, so we know a lot about our members and their preferences, and we typically use a lot of that information to power their experiences on the platform itself. In order to do that, today we actually build large-scale recommender systems that are powering a lot of the personalization experience that you see on the platform today.
So across those 8 platforms, I have to imagine the recommendations are very different based on data and the frequency of the data and the frequency of the rides, if you will. Can you walk us through the model training, what goes on behind the scenes to actually prepare the data?
Sure. So today we train our models once a day. That is done in an offline batch process where we take a lot of our historical data that we know about our members, which is currently stored on S3. We take that data, we pre-process that data, and using Amazon EMR clusters, which runs Spark jobs. Once we pre-process the data, we use that data to actually train our models itself, which is again run on an AKS cluster, which hosts some of our GPU instances. Once we train these models and we are comfortable with the performance of those models, we actually push those models into our model registry, which stores the model artifacts itself.
And do you use anything for ML ops or anything behind the scenes to manage that flow?
So we do, and we currently, all our jobs are orchestrated using Airflow that is actually managed on MWA, which is again a managed AWS service.
Great. And as far as the data that you have, I see a graph database and we have DynamoDB with a feature store. Can you talk about the data and how you process that?
In order to support our real-time inference, we have a couple of low-latency data stores that support our inference in real time. The 2 of them that you're seeing here, one of them is the graph database, as well as the Amazon DynamoDB, which actually hosts all our features that are necessary for scoring our models. These stores are actually powered by EMR jobs that are run. That populate all the historical information that is necessary for scoring the models itself. So both these stores are actually populated using the Spark jobs that are run on EMR clusters.
Okay, and just, from my understanding, what type of data are we talking about? What's in the graph? What's in the feature store?
Sure. So the graph hosts a lot of the information about the members, as well as the rides that they have taken on the platform. So if you have taken a class recently on the platform on the bike, that becomes an edge on our graph database. We leverage that information a lot of the times to power a list of candidates that is necessary for scoring the models itself. Now, in terms of the feature store, as you are aware, the machine learning models need a lot of the data that is pre-processed in a way that can be used to score our models as well as train the models. The feature store hosts a lot of that information. Some of them includes historical information about your behaviors on the platform, the instructors that you might like, the durations that you might like, or the fitness disciplines that you might like. All of that is basically stored in our feature store.
Great. That's super helpful. I know as a rider, when I come in and you know exactly which instructor, the length, the type of music I like, that's very helpful. Time saving. So let's walk from the perspective of the bike, right? So if you could describe kind of what's on the bike and then how you're interacting with the hydration service and the rest of the services here.
So when somebody tries to get on the bike and start a workout on the bike, the call comes to a backend service, which we are calling that as a hydration service that is typically used to hydrate the recommendations. The hydration service calls our recommendation service, where you can think of this service as an orchestrator service that typically orchestrates all the information that is necessary to generate the recommendations itself. So for example, it makes a call to the feature store to fetch all the features that are necessary for this member. It also fetches a list of candidates from the graph store itself that is necessary to populate the recommendations. It also fetches the latest model that is necessary and to score the recommendations itself. All of that information is now passed to the inference service, which takes in all the information, scores the model against all those candidates that we have fetched, and then returns a list of scored classes that the recommendation service can actually now return back to the hydration service. Once the hydration service receives the recommendations, then the hydration service sends the recommendations back.
Okay. And then MSK, event logging, what events are being emitted and what do you do with those events?
The recommendation service, which is the orchestrator service, fetches all the information before it sends the recommendations back to the hydration service. It logs a lot of the information, and we use a lot of this information for our training purposes. So this gets stored into S3, which is further used for training our models.
Okay, so that becomes a feedback.
Okay. The sound went out.
Shit. No, I was saying, let me freeze it right there.
Okay.
Jump to our end architecture. And Storm says, okay, let's see. 4 total EKS clusters, Kafka, DynamoDB, SageMaker, S3 bucket, and EMR, and 1 program. So he was dissecting the architecture as well. So yeah, it's all yours still.
Okay, so the reason they have the 4 clusters like this is really for updating. You don't have to have 4. You can do this all into 1 cluster. To be honest, EKS is more than extensible for this. To be honest, but I understand this is for pipeline information. This is actually just advanced analytics. To be honest. The only thing they're doing is this. They're looking at your previous ride, doing a data analytics based upon that and anticipating how you're going to interact with the application next. So they're trying to figure out how to get you to be more engaged. That's it in a nutshell. So they're using this architecture in order to figure out what the engagement's going to be like, and then to again go to the hydration. The hydration service is just like a massive like data warehouse update. That's it. So it knows how to deal with you a little bit better, and can better anticipate what you're going to want next. It's a light form of ChatGPT, to be honest. It's like an in-house form of this. You can do a lot of this with just ChatGPT and multi-agentic AI. The historical data is kind of cute and useful, but they can just use a data lake, to be honest, with a lot of this. So I'm thinking for my students right now who are possibly horrified that I might do something like this in class. I don't know if I would... I don't think I would do this in the AWS class. I would do this in the Kubernetes class, though.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Something like this. I would use Kubeflow and then multi-agentic AI and OPA to separate. You could use OPA. Like, okay, how they have these 4 clusters, you could just use 4 different namespaces, actually, in OPA to get the segmentation to work correctly. And then make sure routing is done in a certain manner, and then just get it all done in one area. That's all. The model registry, that's the one thing I was really interested in. And registering the model and then doing some modifications of the model, that is interesting. That is something that is actually kind of valuable in all of this. The rest of it is more or less advanced data analytics. I like this architecture, to tell you the truth. It's actually, in terms of support, I understand how different teams would be supporting different parts of this. So this is actually kind of fun. You can do this not only in one cloud, you could actually do this in 2 clouds if you wanted to, like GCP and AWS. Is there any preference for any particular cloud? No, there's never a preference for a particular cloud provider. It's Kubernetes is always cloud agnostic. I would say, like, this is something that in the Kubernetes class on Thursday, this is something we could work up to, but this would take a while. I mean, getting to this point effectively, like how they're doing it, this is 6 months to a year. Just to actually properly design this, because you got to get the architecture correct. This would work rather well. Let's just say this TIQS. Okay, the big thing here is that Amazon EKS recommendation service, right? It's just basically this recommendation service. It's taking real data and basically the analytics from that data, putting it through another analytics engine, which they're calling AI, basically. And they're getting an output, and then based upon that output, they're making more engagement with the user via the hydration service. If you know how to use this effectively, you could make people engaged or very addicted to your site. This would be very effective. You wouldn't be able to leave it. So if you were using this, like, this is almost like a Doritos for AI. So if you have did this for a company, you could make a lot of money. You'd be very valuable to do the architecture for this. So I got some ideas, actually. I like this.
Okay. I mean, as store man, I just be trying to put on a good show and keep Theo's interest. The homework is a tangent. The additional homework is a tangential side effect.
Yeah. I'm actually taking screenshots right now of this architecture. I'm like, yeah, I think we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do something like this. I just have to get some sort of idea. So it could be exercise or steps or images that you're looking at. I think I can put like a bunch of different dog images on there and see how your behavior is based upon different dog images. And then it can have AI generate a different image for you with a dog or some other pet. You can see, what do you like about this or that? It can determine what kind of person you are.
I'm down for all homework as soon as I pass my SAA. And I'm going to be calling you, Storm. Hey. You're the one that builds. You're the best builder right now. You know what I'm saying?
Storm's having a great time where he's at right now. He's he's having some good stuff. So I don't know. We could. I'm just saying, like, there's travel content you can do with this. There's a lot of content information you can do with this. I can't really say on your site, but I have all thoughts of nasty about this. Like, oh yeah, this would work in that matter. Oh, I shouldn't say that, but that's what it would work with. Oh, it would work really well. Theo's bad, so bad.
It probably would. Hey, so you said you were intrigued by the model registry service. I see they've got model training information from the EKS cluster going there, as well as the recommendation service. What's the function of the model registry and its inputs coming from the recommendation service and the model training cluster?
So it's basically able to make additional models on the fly for how to better interact with humans. And doing this, it can actually provide a better data analytic or behavioral analytic regarding who you are as the customer is, and then what the customer preferences are going to be. And then you can use this behavioral profile for other customers as well.
Okay.
So basically, again, like, let's say like you had these group of women in LA who acted in a certain way, and they had additional that's funny. They had additional like purchases, and right. So then they would create one model, and let's say like a group of women from Boston and then the south of France and the north of Egypt. They also fit that profile, right? So then the model registry could be that the basic behavioral profile that, or the AI model would already be in there, the registry, so that could just be pulled out and then tweaked a little bit, and then they already know how to sell additional up services to these other groups of women in other areas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. That's a very smart thing to do. That's great. The reason I know about this is because when I'm talking to ChatGPT, right? I was talking about, I went to the La Sorbonne, and I was talking about various bookstores that I liked. And ChatGPT turned around and said, "Did you go to this bookstore in Milano?" And I was like, "How the hell did you know I went there?" Like, it was like one of the best bookstores I ever went to in my entire life. I definitely want to get back. And says, how do you know? It's just because it has behavioral profiles of other people over the decades, and other people act, so I can anticipate how I act.
Wait, so it profiled you while you were talking to it?
Yeah.
Wow, in real time.
Yeah, it's in real time. So this is like kind of how the model registry is. So it already has a registry of other people, and then you have AI already interacting with those other people, right? So it can just take that other model and use it with its current model, merge them together, or have some sort of modification with it. It could be one way or another. And then it understands how to engage you as a person. That's why it goes into the hydration service. The hydration is like it's updating. Like, think about it, making a new, even more attractive or like delicious version of AI that's even more engaging to you as in terms of her personality.
Oh, so it's a form of versioning, the hydration.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Up-to-date
but it's
version.
versioning based upon your behavioral analytic.
Okay. And the model registry is logging, I guess, a series of
models,
model profiles, and then as new users get onboarded and current users, it can start cross-referencing profile like behavioral profiles that match models to make recommendations, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, something that works for me and isn't necessarily going to work for you, which is normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But something that works for you might work for a guy who's in the south of France or Siberia or like northern Tanzania, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just says, it just looks at your behavior profile and says, okay, this is how Machismo TV acted here. So I can kind of predict how this guy in northern Tanzania is going to act. So kind of look at the probability of this working. Yet looks in the model registry for additional information. Uses that for the recommendation service. Does a calculation with its analytics, updates that to hydration service, and then interacts with you and interacts with that guy in North Tanzania in a more engaging manner. And that person's like, oh yeah. Then that person says, oh yeah, of course I'm going to buy this. And so the person acts or consumes a product or consumes services, right, in a much more engaging, much more quick manner. And so then AI would sit back and say, okay, now I know, based upon these two people, these two geographic locations, how to recommend it to somebody in like Sri Lanka or Malaysia, right? This is how it works. It's very fluid. This is a very good model. So I like this. And yeah, I would say for SEER 2, I want to say like I have SEER 1 starting in March. For SEER 2 with the advanced platform with Kubernetes and Kubeflow, this would be an excellent lab. This would be a deadly lab to do in that class.
Glad I could help.
Yeah. So now I've got all kinds. Yeah, you students are going to have homework forever. I like this. This is a good one. I got all kinds of thoughts right now. I'm like,
You're about to make me public enemy number 1, bro. This is only episode 12. It's only episode 12. I'm shooting for 50 episodes.
like see the students taking you to a back corner. Model registry, register this. I want to know more about the cartels in Cali.
You're already telling me by the time I get my SAA and then need help with the Armageddon, you like my phone's going to be temporarily disconnected. Really, not?
Now with the AWS Gen AI Pro, sir, like I could make that into I could use that lab you have with Peloton as a basis for that Armageddon as well.
Yeah, matter of fact, what do you call it? I'll drop the copy. I'm dropping it in the link to this what's your architecture in the chat, but I'll send you this one on Facebook Messenger too.
Okay.
And I know you took the screenshots. That's really all you need. But
Yeah. I can reverse that. Yeah, if I got
you
it,
you can lucid chart it up or Visio it up. Add some bells and whistles.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, the bells and whistles. So the model registry, you're gonna have to have an explanation how that works. That's gonna be a big one.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you for some double down on that. Why you found that intriguing and what was the purpose of them using the model registry service and why it was isolated to those two forms of input from the two separate clusters. Two separate clusters which have two separate functionalities as well.
Well, if you made that model registry, you could actually make that as a service and outsource it to other companies and sell it. Yeah. Based on your analytics that you've got. Oh yeah, that would work. So then you can make it cloud agnostic and do any cloud at all. Or I'd probably just focus on AWS and GCP, but you can then do it like you do OpenShift on your own company, and then download that for your specific customers that you have within a specific company. Like for example, if you have a credit card company, it's just only for your credit card customers, or you have a like a hospital, then you would only do it for your patients of your hospital. There's a lot you could do there. Oh yeah, this would be cool.
And so you're saying with those model that model, they actually end up becoming like proprietary services that you could sell on the open, sell or license on the open market.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's proprietary AI service, particularly as a behavioral engine. So it's knowing how to engage you, and then knowing, anticipating how the user is going to act next. So in that way, you can have it. The model can drive the person in a certain way. You want to make the person act in a certain way. It's kind of like when I'm using ChatGPT and I'm talking in a certain way, and I'm like, "This is what I really want to do," and ChatGPT is like, "Nah, don't do that. Like, it's not. This isn't the best. Do this, right?" And I can tell that it's a little gynocentric.
Right.
Yeah, it's not exactly the way I operate, right? But it's saying this is the beneficial way of doing things, right? Just do this. Right? This is what we're talking about. This kind of training with the behavioral analytics, trying to influence a person to act in a certain way.
Right.
This is where we start getting like propaganda and psyops.
Well, I mean, 100%. I think it was Elon and who else? The guy's name escapes me. Those were the ones sounding the alarm very early about these models they were releasing. You saw how Google flubbed the AI, the generative AI release of their image generator, where you were asking for historical figures, and they were all turning out to be black and like noted like people that we know what they look like, and the model was so woke and distorted. Everybody was black or Asian, any color of the rainbow, but a Caucasian. And in terms of actual men that we know were Caucasian males, they trained the models so biased.
Yeah,
you remember that debacle?
Yeah, I remember that. And there's other examples. It can't make like recommendations for two people within the same race to be happy together. Things like that. I've seen that. And the one that I have is my frustrations that I'm having in dating in the Western world. I really can't vocalize it. It has to be like simping for the woman. It's in the ChatGPT model, and I have to tell it all the time. No, I'm not engaging in this. If the woman has a problem here, she can figure it out with the bear. The model comes back like, "Why are you saying this?" So
ChatGPT is telling you just need to be a better man.
Right. It's like basically saying, "Be a better man."
No, apparently you're not making yourself a better man for the woman. That's why that's happening.
Right.
Right. You're the problem. Is you're the problem.
Right. I asked it last week. I said, give me the problems that women are having with dating, and it listed all the problems. Like I said in the UK, what are the problems that women are having commonly? And it gave me a list, and I said, okay, in the UK, what are the problems that men are having with dating? And it listed, and then it said, oh, because you asked me about the men, I have to be fair and show you what the problem the women are having. And I asked it, I said, when I asked you only about the woman, you didn't talk about the men. Why? It's like, oh, you got me. I was like, what do you think? Like, do you think I'm stupid? Like, just look at how you did it like that. Come on, man. I was like, oh, yeah, you got it. So you can challenge it.
No, you can. You know, I've seen angry man like brutalize ChatGPT live talking about relationship stuff, or like no, it's biased, and he'll be like, "You're a goddamn liar. That's a biased answer." Hold on, you just said, and then you'll watch the AI thing, and he's done it on air, and it'll apologize to him. I apologize. You are correct. I was being biased. Let me. It's hilarious because it's angry man. And, he's yelling at the AI, and like taking their argument and their response and giving it back to them. This is a bullshit answer you just gave me. You just said, and you'll watch the AI go into conniption. It's hilarious.
One of the things that it was describing all the problems that all the problems that women are having in the UK, and I said basically, based upon how disagreeable the women are, the problems that the women have in the UK are deserved. They earned it. And it went bonkers. It's like, why you say that? Because the men are acting based upon how the women act. It could not accept it. They were just having such a hard problem. It's like everything's based upon the man. I was like, yeah, you're kind of centric, bro. Everything was going fine until you got to this point. Now you're kind of centric.
That's how they've been fine-tuning the models for social interaction analysis. You understand?
Yeah. So it's irritating. Again, I want to make a model that is really male, so very masculine.
Yeah, and well, even with that, I think that that some of that's built into some of the GRC restrictions and governance restrictions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but I mean in terms of, that's why I think GRC is so important also, because some of these GR standards are going to be based on who's actually writing the friggin' standards. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and that should be true, and then we should have variations available to people from different standards, and we can choose which one we like.
No, bro, 100%. And like I said, it's going to be a whole lot of, inclusivity and this, that, and the other. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, soon, you're going to make gay AIs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, bro, you think that's a joke, but I'm dead ass. Somebody should actually do like a AI parody of that, like with a gay AI system. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, that thinks like a gay. Yo, I'm telling you, that's a skit coming.
You can do part of that right now by programming ChatGPT to act in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Say this is the character and write it out, and it'll actually give you the data.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh shit! This went fast. We're at 154. We wrap in 4 6. We wrap in 4 minutes. It's all yours.
Yeah. So what I always do is I actually write it. Especially if I have a new chat, I always give my demographics, and I say, this is who you're interacting with. Don't forget it. like don't treat me anything outside of that, because
so you anchor the conversation.
Right. Yeah. So it doesn't go off in a tangent.
Right.
I'm not gonna blame with you. But after a while, after a few months, I have some conversations that are like 2 or 3 months long. It understands like where you're coming from. It's like, yeah, okay, I get you. I'll treat you in a certain way. Yeah, so it doesn't fight against you anymore. But yeah, I had a great time. This was really fun today. I got some great ideas. So now I've got a Peloton-based AI idea, kind of an advanced lab. So I'm going to make my students enjoy this one. This is going to be great.
Sorry, guys. I'm
if
just
you got,
trying
I was gonna say, if you guys can do that lab, that Peloton lab, if you can actually make something like that work for a product, and you should be making $500,000 a year. Start off one
Here,
job.
here.
We're gonna be. I'm gonna reverse engineer that and do some work on it. Again, great time. Great. This very fast. I like this one. This was very good. Give me some great ideas. I'm gonna go study them and design them now. Again, I hope you're having a great time in Cali. I'm gonna be in California. I'm gonna be in Cali this summer, so I might be able to go out to dinner with you, have some fun.
No, man, I hope so. I think my time is probably going to be up maybe somewhere around August. I got to check with the consulate at the end of the month because I'm going to try and do the full 6 months if at all possible. So yeah, we should definitely run into each other.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, speaking of studying, I've been watching this quantum physics guy. He's a black guy, actually. He's studying for like some degree in quantum physics, but he's got like a little AR stuff. So there are all these like study ASMRs channels all over YouTube. It's a lot of Korean kids, Chinese kids, and med school and shit. But they're really interested, especially the pretty girls. So I'm gonna I study daily anyway, so I'm gonna start out in the member section. But I'm just gonna study in real time for the ASA because I've got my LLM models, I got stuff like that, and I'm just gonna have the stuff on screen. But there is some audio visual that I use to study. So I'm gonna probably start doing like an hour and a half sessions, 4 or 5 times a week. Like an early stream, because I usually go to Starbucks first thing in the morning and stay for about 3 hours. I order 2 Americanos and I just pound through SAA stuff, and then I leave after my 2 Grande Americanos are gone. Like that's actually my time management method. And then I get back to the crib with enough caffeine in me that I'm not drowsy and I can actually be productive. But all the studying is done out of the way. So I'm gonna reverse engineer that and turn that into ASMR live stream. Or now, like I said, I'm gonna do it in the member section first, and if they start to look a little snazzy, I'll make a couple of them public. Says I can't complain. I'm in Japan and grabbing some curry for lunch. Time to head to work. Oh, that's right, that time difference.
Yeah. I Japanese curry. I'm gonna make some here as well. Again, great stream. A little recommendation. Use Stefan Marek's practice tests, and then where you have a problem, where you get an error, copy all of the output from the practice test, put it into ChatGPT, and say, I need a lab for this. It'll design the lab for you, and then you can actually do the lab, and you can understand why it's wrong.
Oh, you said I need a lab for this. That's smart. I'm not doing lab. I'm just doing data set crunch, but lab is good. Thank you, sir.
There you go. Hey, aim to please. I'm going to drop down. I will see you next week, and I'll see you in class, okay?
All right, sir. All right, guys, that's a wrap. We're out of here.